Thank you for your interest. Have a look at this layering model. As a peer user, I am trying to address my ways of hacking this Mac OS. Rather than step-by-step guide, I am sharing the obstacle of knowledge to this OS, based on my experience. Because people coming to Hackintosh usually fluent in at least one other OS, let's say Windows. Firstly, talking about your Windows perception which may affect your imagination about Mac OS. Windows installations and maintenance is a nightmare, which is very time-consuming, complex and specific to each machines. Each Windows installation is for each individual computer, with drives for its hardware. That is why thinking of Mac OS from a Windows perspective will be very threatening. You have to install Windows as complete system once before it can be run. There is no way for a Windows installation to run in minimum configuration across different hardware. In contrary, drivers in Mac OS like Linux are cached at runtime, so they can even be removed or be swapped on production system. Furthermore, there is a bare configuration of Mac OS that is enough files and drivers to run on every hardware. After that, people can add drivers and do fine-tuning to the OS. Thus, I think people can just duplicate the bare configuration to any computer. This is sure run. Then, additional drivers can be injected to Mac OS. And in practice, this works flawless. That is my way of hacking Mac OS. As you know, Hackintosh requires Clover to boot, so I may say Mac OS installations are almost only differentiated in the Clover part. If you strive to that way, you get my point. So how to prepare Clover part, you can easily Googling. Every additional driver should be added to Clover part if it is possible. After that, minor software or gadget tweaks can easily be plugged in or be removed to the Mac OS volume. The bare configuration Mac OS part can be achieved by duplicate other bare Mac OS volume or by executing vanilla installation. As you see, at this vanilla stage, no individual hardware driver is added to the bare installer, i.e. bare volume. The installer in fact just extract a bare system volume to your choose partition. Unlike Windows installation, which will probe individual hardware and inject corresponding driver at the install phase. So for example Yoga 500 hardware specific. For Clover part, there is onboard memory discovery bug. We have to manually declare it, i.e. config.plist. Fortunately, there is no required storage driver in Clover part for this machine. That is, to add touch bar, a minor tweaks, you can then Google.